Hi, Bubs. Hi. Hello, little old man. Old man. All right. A little more chest scritches. All right. Is that good? All right. Good boy. Go lay down. Hello, welcome to Harpy Stitch. I'm Amy. This is Flosstube 5.2. We tried filming this about a week ago and tons of technical difficulties, so we are a bit further delayed, and I am now filming this on October 2nd. I'm so excited that spooky season's finally here. So the reason that this one has been so delayed is that life has happened. We had our teacher workshop week, then school started, got very busy. Second week of school, fell, sprained my wrist and my thumb. It's better now, but I occasionally wear the glove just to help support it a little bit. I just started feeling better today. And you might notice my new accessory. A week after I sprained my wrist, my vision started going goofy in my left eye. First, I thought it was my glasses. Cleaned them, didn't do any good. And I thought, maybe I have a floater. The weird thing was the floater didn't move. So went to the emergency room. They couldn't tell me what was going on. Went to the eye doctor the next day. They gave me a suggestion of what was going on and told me to go to a specialist. Last Monday, I went to a specialist and I have had a blood vessel in my eye hemorrhage. And now I get to go get a treatment once a month. That's not very fun. And the treatments may or may not make it better. So my stitching life has slowed down quite a bit, although now with my wrist being better, hopefully I can get a little bit more done. And I will have more to show you on the next Flosstube. So to balance out all the crazy, not so great stuff, I got mentioned by Morti Brom. This was thrilling. I love her Flosstube channel, and I find them hilarious. The way they joke around and play off each other is fabulous. And her shouting me out was like a celebrity doing it. So it was super fun. I went from 20 subscribers to 64 as of earlier today.
Hey, wait a minute, Dracula. Did you ever have the feeling you're being watched?
And Morty, I cannot thank you enough for mentioning me and saying such nice things about my videos.
That the eyes of strange, eerie things are upon you.
And giving me the shout out. I really appreciate it.
Look.
Another thing that was kind of cool is that some of the people I've been watching
out there in the audience
have started watching me, which is kind of
people.
Super awesome, because my first few videos, I really felt like I was speaking into an empty void. Now I know people are kind of watching and checking it out, and I'm hoping, have some conversations with some of you that have been watching. I'm super excited. Some of the people that I've been watching that have started following me are DNAGeekCrafts, very awesome. Maroomy Crafts, who I've actually been working on a couple of their patterns, and Stitching Connect Annie. I've watched a few of hers, and I keep trying to catch up with everybody's, but there's so many. And another interesting thing is some people I haven't gotten to really yet, or I started watching after, but I've been hearing their names from other Flosstubers. Man Darcy, HibernationStitcher, the FlightlessStitcher, the NomadicStitcher, and Crisscross Stitch with a K, because there's another Crisscross Stitch with a C. Both have Flosstubes. So it's been really interesting to see all these names that I know and been following. It's been really cool. And I'm looking forward to chatting with everybody on their Flosstubes and getting caught up on all these great projects that everybody's working on. We shall start with my fully finished objects. I actually have two. We will be just seeing them digitally because they have either been gifted or are hanging up in my library at work. First is the welcome sign that I did from the world of cross stitching. I started it on July 25th of this year. It has 6 colors I used the called for, and it is 2/2. I'm using a Recollections brand banner, and it is now hanging up over my library, and I finished it on September 4th, right in time to get it hung up for the first day of school. So that is pretty awesome. My second fully finished is Thank You for Being a Friend by Haley Pierson-Cox. I got it out of the Golden Girl cross stitch book. I started it on August 8th. I did it on a cloth bag from Michaels in blue. It has 17 colors. I used the called for, and it is also 2/2. And I finished it on September 1st. Those are my 2 finishes for this time around. I have one new start this time around. It is Letters from Hogwarts by Cunning Cross Stitch. It is a stitch your own adventure. You roll dice to find out what house you're in, unless you just want to pick one, the color of your wand and the shape of it, what classes you're taking for your first year, and there's a letter for each segment that you wrote to your parents. I started this on August 24th with my friend who is a big Harry Potter fan. It was a birthday start for her. It is only her 3rd cross stitch project, and she went for a big one. It has 44 colors. I am currently using the called for. It is 2/2 on 32 count stone gray Belfast linen. I haven't gotten very far. I'm just working on the frame. I have gotten to the Hogwarts train. Unfortunately, this is no longer available. He pulled it down from his site, but he has like a RuPaul Drag Race one, and he just started a Lord of the Rings one, where you do the same mechanic of rolling the dice. I did hear about this on a Flosstube. I can't remember which one, unfortunately. So I think it'll be really fun. We already rolled for our wands, and we will stitch independently on this, and then when we get to this part where we're ready for the next segment to choose our things, we'll get together and start them together. Because if we waited till just stitch on this one while we're together, we would never get it done. Now for works in progress. The first one I'm going to share with you is the Rare Horror Flies Sal by Noctifloradesigns. I started it on August 3rd, and I am using the called for colors. It is 2/1. I am stitching it on 18 count hand-dyed Deadly Blooms by Witch's Garden Crafts, and I am a bit behind. The 4th part has come out. I have gotten the first 2 parts done. So this last week was a catch-up. The week before this Friday, last Friday, part 4 was released. The week before that was a catch-up week. I am going to hopefully work on this a lot this month since it is kind of spooky. I am really enjoying it. I love purples and greens, and this is full of both. So I think it's looking great. All right. My second whip is one I've shared with you several times before. This is Dead Outlaw Female by Night Spirit Studios, Stitch for Sage. I started this on July 25th. It is on 14 count Ada by Fabric Flare. The color is pecan. I am using some Etoile for the gun. The metal parts of the gun. I've got some metallic thread here for the embellishments on her dress. I was trying to work my way straight up the middle of this pillar, but counting the colors as they faded into each other and making sure I got it right was difficult, so I decided to just count up and do the outline and then go and backfill it in to make it a bit easier. I think this is going to be the project that I work on Sundays when we're playing Deadlands. It seems appropriate to work on a Dead Outlaw while we're playing Cowboys. That'll probably be what I do, and then maybe also when it comes up on my Tiny Decisions app for this month. My third whip for you today is Sepita by Maroomy Designs. Hi, Mariam. I really love your floss tube, and this is a gorgeous design. I'm also really enjoying stitching your Cape Honeybee. I started this on August 14th. It is on 32 count Yellowstone by Needlebling. It is 1/1. I am using DMC 4240 Midsummer Night. And you can start to see her arm and her hair here. I am doing this in the negative space of the original design. I started in the center, as I do most of my projects. I am trying to decide when I get to the edge whether I'm going to do a single row to outline it or if I'm going to do a couple of rows for framing purposes. I'm a far away from that yet. I'll just have to see how it will look to frame it and see how it looks when I get to the edge. My final whip for you today is Seductive Kermit by the Witchy Stitcher. I worked on this yesterday for Stitchy for Witchy or the Witchy Stitcher Day, depending on which hashtag you were using. I started this on August 12th. I'm using 32 count Black Laguna. I keep saying Laguna. I don't know why. That I had in my stash. I am doing it 1/2. I am skipping over the black threads, although I did go ahead for his pupils and put black thread there just to make it a little bit more consistent with the level of his eye, rather than having his pupils be indentations, which would look really weird. So this was a bonus pattern that came with the Supernatural Sal. My husband and I are both huge Muppet fans. Kermit rocks. And this was just too funny, so I had to start with this one rather than the Supernatural Sal. Kind of thinking that maybe I should have done a shiny thread for the chandelier, but I guess if I wanted to, I could yank it out and I could frog it. Haha.
Yeah, you never know when something funny is gonna happen on this show.
Did something funny happen?
Yeah.
You'd never know it.
And do it with a metallic or a blending filament to get a shiny chandelier. Now that I thought about that, I might do that. Ooh, yeah, I could shade it and just do it from one side. That's an interesting idea too. I'll have to think about that. There's a couple of ways I could make it shiny, huh? Before I move on to haul, I do want to give you a quick update on my quilt. Give yourself about 30 seconds if you don't care about the quilt. I did finish my front panel, and so I guess technically I was wrong, and this is my last whip to share with you. But I've got the front panel, so I've got to add the border and do the batting and add the back and then do the binding. And that was put on hold because of my wrist and then my eye.
And my axe.
So, and my friend that I'm doing the quilt with is coaching volleyball right now, and she won't be free after school until the 16th. So maybe once that's done, I will get back to my quilt because I think it will be beautiful. And then I have been informed that since I made myself a quilt, I need to make my husband one. He's actually been asking for years because the quilt his grandma made him has started to, dry rot is the right word. It's just really old and you can't actually use it. And I've been promising him that when I learned to quilt, I would do it. And now I don't have an excuse because I've learned how to quilt.
Autobots raise their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons.
Next is
Me Grimlock kick butt.
Next is haul. The only haul I have this time around is my Christmas ornament magazine. I'm still waiting on my September issue of World of Cross Stitching, so since I haven't gotten it yet, I'm actually going to check on that tomorrow. There are quite a few cute little ornaments in here. I thought I would show you the ones that I really like. The sheep covered in lights cracks me up with his goofy little Santa hat. This little figgy pudding where it's in a ornament slash, serving dish is really funny because it's 3D, so it's full. I like anything with books. Though I think if I made this, I might change it from carols just because I'm not big on carols. But I mean, what's better in the winter than a book and like hot chocolate or tea or coffee, or cider, whatever floats your boat. This little elf sweater is so kitschy. I love it. It's really goofy. I like anything with penguins, and if I decided I didn't want it to be Christmassy, I could just change the colors of their hat and not do the Noel. Husband just suggested turning this into an ice tree, but then I had the thought, because sometimes up here in Minnesota, what happens is you get these beautiful pine trees, and then they get covered in this thick layer of ice, and it looks like they're just crystal trees. So if you did the tree and then like went over it with like a thing to make it look like ice was hanging off, like where it was covered, that would look really cool. That would be awesome. This is why I need you around. You have great visual taste.
Shut up, baby. I know it.
So I like anything that looks like a gnome. I have a gnome bee that I got from Michael's over in the spring last year, although he fell over and now he's got a broken toe. So, and then I like these two. This looks very much like an old school sampler, like an antique page out of a book, like something you would get. And this one feels like it's moving with the hill and the things, and the blues are really pretty. Do love a good nature piece. This squirrel is so cute. And you could, got the one little ornament ball on there, but other than that, it doesn't even look like it's Christmas. I love the owl. Might be because my kid loves owls. This one's kind of calming. The deer and the bunny and just the outline of the tree. Another adorable penguin. You could change the Christmas to say winter or December if you didn't want it to say Christmas. I really like this little tree. He's kind of goofy and silly and really cute. Of course, we all know how I feel about kitties and cat crimes. These remind me of my naughty kitty. So if I did this one, maybe I'd have to change it. I know a lot of people change them to black kitties, but I might have to change one to a gray and white kitty. And then here, at the bottom, we have this goofy Rudolph reindeer and then this hippopotamus coming out of a box. And he's both goofy and kind of looks like he's terrified. And when I was a kid, my favorite Christmas song was I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. Yeah, he might be singing. That is a book, not a box. This is what you get when you have messed up eyes. But yeah, he just cracks me up. All right. I really think that this is super cute, and it doesn't even have to be Christmas. It could just be winter 2023. I know he's wearing a hat and scarf, but if you live up north, you wear those all winter anyway. I kind of like the snowman with the little bird. And of course, this is like a purple snowman book. I think this is supposed to be like a snow globe. And this is just mean to the people down south. Stop teasing people down south that they get to have snowmen. It's just not nice. And then on this page, trying to find a good way to hold it so I'm not covering up the designs. This door is neat, not so much because it's super spectacular looks-wise, although it's really cute. But I like that you stitch the door and the wreath separately, and then you put the wreath on top, so it gives it like a layered look. The color on this, I think this one appeals to me because it pops off that blue so nicely. I don't know, something about those colors on top of that blue I really like. This is so cute. I don't know if you can see, but it took me 3 times looking at this to see the teeny tiny mouse in the candle holder. He is so cute. And then there's this angel gingerbread lady. She's kind of cute, but she also kind of creeps me out. I don't know why. I don't know if it's proportions or what, but she looks a little strange to me. All right. Next is I'm going to continue to work on my works in progress. As I said earlier, I'm going to focus on my Dead Outlaw on Sundays while we're playing Deadlands. It also might come up on my Tiny Decisions app. I am going to use a separate wheel I made, so I'm just going to work on my spooky Halloween projects this month using my Tiny Decisions app. I am hoping to get some more Witchy Stitcher stuff to support her, even though I couldn't do it on the day. The wrist is finally healing, so I can pick up my pace again. I am very behind on my Goth Temp Stitch Along, and I just haven't been feeling it lately, but I'm going to try to add that in with my other Halloween kind of spooky projects to get caught up on that, because I think the last time I did it was late August or early September. All right, next are shout outs. My first shout out is to Cam the Stitcher. I've been watching her Flosstube for a while. I am all caught up. I've watched every episode. If you like Halloween stuff, if you like samplers, she does great color conversions. She converted the face on the Dark Goddess of the Earth to look like a skull head because she didn't like either of the 2 faces that they provided, and it was amazing. She's great at doing color conversions. She took a traditional sampler and did it all in goth colors. She's super bubbly, passionate about Halloween, loves to talk books. So if you haven't checked her out, I really recommend that you do. Another one that I'm watching is Bees and Tees Stitching with Sebastian. Lives down south, does a wide variety of projects, loves tea and bees. Shares bee facts, shares stitching websites, shares non-stitching websites, if my tongue will untie. Focuses on fantasy and geeky patterns. Also has a really adorable cat that likes to photobomb. Very direct, very straightforward. Does not beat around the bush when he has opinions. I am only on episode 32, and Sebastian usually posts weekly, so there's a lot to catch up on there, and it's just really nice and calm and great to watch. My third shout out this week is Stitch Me Sane, Carla. Carla is an Australian stitcher, does a lot of full coverage, has a huge amount of works in progress and stuff that's kitted up and ready to go. Likes a lot of abstract stuff, bright colors, does portraits. Most of you probably know Carla already. Carla is behind the Wall of Women Stitch Along idea, and if I ever do a Wall of Women, my Sapita will definitely go on it. So the Wall of Women, if you aren't familiar, is the idea of finding designs that have a lot of pictures of strong women and featuring them and honoring those strong women. So I think it's a really cool idea, and I enjoy watching her floss tubes. Now, we are in a quandary. I have not a lot of stitching to share, and I do have a lot of stash. Most of my stash is old cross-stitch magazines, and I think we are going to include a portion this week of a stash dive. I am trying to decide if I should do little pieces of a stash dive in episodes, or if I should just do a floss tube extra with a whole bunch of my stash, because I have a giant tub of a variety, and then I have an entire other tub of different Christmas cross-stitch books and magazines. So if you have a preference, please let us know. I will include a small selection of my stash in this one, and then we will do the book reviews, or book recommendations, I should say. Now it's time for the stash dive. The stuff I chose today is all spooky season related, just like my shirt. For those of you who don't know, Minnesota has its own horror convention every year. And my husband and I went for the weekend for our 20th wedding anniversary. Not sure how much stitching I'll get done this next weekend because it is our 25th wedding anniversary and we're gonna go do some stuff with some friends. The first thing I want to share is I got this for Christmas about a year ago. And I'm a huge Nightmare Before Christmas fan, and I've wanted to learn embroidery, and I thought, what better way to learn embroidery than to do a pattern of something that I really love? Then I'll be more motivated to do it. It does come with enough to do 2 projects, including this one, which I think is probably the simplest design. And so I'm going to start with that one. In fact, it is on my tiny decisions wheel to maybe get me to actually get started on it instead of just focusing on cross stitch. So I may have the beginning of an embroidery piece for you now. Here is the Just Cross Stitch 2015 Halloween edition. It is all Halloween all the time. I have actually already made this and given it to my child. My child loves owls and Halloween, but we're kind of a Halloween household. And I put this on a bag so that my child could use it for anything they wished. Kind of like this. I think this is really cute, but what I would want to do with it instead of these little flat ones is turn them into blocks. Harpy knocked them. My husband is a night owl, has insomnia, and this totally fits him. Though I don't think I would do it on a gray sweatshirt for him. I think I'd do it on something else.
Stitch into my flesh.
I love purples, and this is a crazy purple witch hat. Kinda cute. The little purple witch is so cute. Kind of like this one, and I kind of like the raven with the hat. Like Halloween, what can I say? Here is a needle book design. I think this would be considered prim. I still haven't figured out what prim. I know it's short for primitive, so I think it just means kind of old school basic cross stitch with simple designs like old school samplers, but I'm not 100% sure. My first book for you this week is from a local Hmong Minnesotan author. She actually did an author visit at my elementary school She speaks Hmong and English both fluently, and we have several Hmong students, and one of our first graders was so cute. She was in shock that there was an author who could speak her home language, and it brought her to tears, and she had to come up and talk to the author. And just to see the light in this child's eyes go on because she saw somebody like her being a published author, it was amazing, and is exactly why representation is so important, and it's exactly why having a wide variety of books in your library collection or your school collection is so important. Kids need to be seen. They need to feel that. It is terrible when your entire culture is invisible to the mainstream culture of the place that you're living. And it was just such a beautiful, magical moment. The book that she shared with us was From the Top of the Trees, and her name is Kao Kalia Yang. And if I mispronounced that, I so apologize. It is an autobiographical picture book of her time in a refugee camp before her family came to the United States. One of the cool things about the visit was the organization that arranged it made sure that every kid in our school got a copy of the book signed by the author. And it was a beautifully made book. The pictures are gorgeous, the end papers are gorgeous, and it was easily good read aloud for young and old alike. It's an amazing book, and all of the stuff she writes is based on things that really happened to her. And she's amazing, and I really recommend her books. My adult book this time around is The Collected Works of Jim Morrison by Jim Morrison. My husband is a huge Doors fan. And even more than being a Doors fan, he's a huge fan of Jim Morrison's poetry, which is what Jim really wanted to do. I listened to it on audiobook. We also bought the hardcover. One of the neat things about it was I got to hear some of his stuff that was not poetry, that wasn't songs. It was like reviews or comments or a few of his letters. The neat thing is that they had audio of a poetry recording session he did shortly before he passed away. And you actually get to hear Jim read his own poetry. And I think that's a really unique thing that you don't really have access to that often. And he wrote on a wide variety of topics. It was really kind of neat to see a different side of him other than the rock star. So if you like poetry, or if you like the Doors, or if you're just curious, I recommend you check it out. It was great spending time with you. I hope you enjoyed what I had to share today. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. If you have a preference on whether I should do more stash videos, or if you prefer them to be added into the regular videos, or you would like them as an extra, please let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. Have a great day.